Hey, welcome everyone. It's Robin here. Welcome to my channel, Oracle Rising. So guys, I'm going to talk about old soul versus new soul. I found some really interesting research, so I wanted to bring this subject to you today. But first, I want to just say thank you so much for being here and subscribing, everybody. All your comments. I love your emails about your experiences. So I really do appreciate you guys so much. So just a recap for anybody that might be new on the channel. This is my channel where I was guided to just talk about ascension. This is my purpose in life, is to help build a network of spiritual warriors so that we can help to escape the 3D matrix and ascend to 4D, 5D, and beyond. So if you guys are new to the channel or you're new to a spiritual awakening, you might want to start in one of the video playlists, either Exit the Matrix or Ascension, and then get caught up because I'm progressing higher and higher on the scale. So anyway, guys, I'm going to start talking about 10 signs that you could be an old soul, 10 signs, as I put fives up, that you could be a new soul. Okay, so in my research, we probably all heard this term before. Oh, they're such an old soul. And you're thinking, okay, well, that's cool. So you accept what that means overall. So what I found, the meaning of an old soul is that this is somebody that has reincarnated many, many, many times. Okay, so they have a different perspective of the earth because they've been here before. I have talked about the reincarnation process before. I've talked about soul contracts, and until your soul contract is signed off, you keep on coming back here to fulfill things that maybe you missed out on. And for me, and I know many of you, the goal is to thank you very much, Earth, at the end of this incarnation and kindly never return, because it's a bit of a slog. Okay, so old soul, you guys, has reincarnated many times. And yes, I do have notes here off camera because my memory. You could display wisdom beyond chronological age. So, and Lacey's staring off into the distance. So there could be the presence of an angel here. So I call that a good thing. So you know how, like, some children, they're just very contemplative. You know, people start displaying these signs at an early age. So wisdom beyond chronological age, because this has been inherited over and over and over again throughout the cycle of incarnations. These people that you would call an old soul are not particularly materialistic, okay? They're grounded and wise. So being grounded means being very in touch with the earth and its surroundings. You could find these people in aspects of, you know, really wanting to take care of the planet. Could be a very active member of, let's say, Greenpeace or something like that, or protesting against big companies that just want to destroy the earth to make money. And the type of person that really understands that whatever is needed will be provided. So they have this sort of easy attitude when it comes to manifesting. There's like, oh, it'll be there. You know, the universe will provide for me. I don't have to really worry about it. And just being content, maybe living beneath their means or not worried about income at all, you know. And you could be looking at people like that and going like, why don't they care? And why aren't they more you know, pushy about supporting themselves? It's because they've got a different mindset. They have just, you know, everything is going to be okay. And maybe I don't need masses of money to survive on the earth. Okay. They very much value alone time. These are people that we would like to call hermits. I always, when I was a kid, was like, what's with hermits? Like, I never understood them. You know, why would anybody want to do that? I think I saw a National Geographic special on it when I was a kid, like people like intentionally removing themselves from society, or people that just didn't like to go out or didn't have a whole lot of friends or whatever. Now, at this stage of my life, I really understand that because there's such a toxic energy on the planet right now, and that's what we call the 3D matrix, that the only way that you can heal yourself is to remove yourself and go into hermit mode. And if you really truly like the person that you are, you're not lonely, you're alone. Then it's completely different things. People with old souls, they tend to be highly empathic and spiritual. And all of that rolls into everything else. Really spiritual people, they understand that the universe is going to provide for them. They understand that even if you're alone, you're not alone. In hermit mode, like I said before, I saw Lacey kind of looking off into the corner. So I know that my team in spirit is here. They tend to show up more in company when I'm doing videos here or on my other channel, Aries Fire Tarot. So you could be having this awakening, you guys, and understanding more about your spirit body than your earthly body as an old soul. A strong connection to a past life, you guys. Okay, and this is something I'm actually going to mark this down because I want to do another video about that. A strong connection to a past life. So you might not remember your past lives, but you could have an absolute affinity to a time period, where you're like, or you could have a recognition of, like, if you're traveling and you go somewhere else and you have that sort of, what do they call it? A goose walked over my grave, or some really strong sense of having been there before, a deja vu. That could be that recognition, that connection to that past life. You've been here many times before. I'm really interested, you guys, if you have an affinity for any type of time period, let me know in the comments. I'll give you a couple of mine. I really resonate with the Victorian age. Something about that just tells me that I've been there before. And then definitely like a very Viking, pagan, Celtic, very powerful. You guys, I always talk about Lagertha Lothbrok. Lagertha? Yeah. Because I just resonate with her so much. So you could be watching a movie and like, wow, I just love that person and what they're wearing and look at the architecture. That could be because you were there in a past life and maybe you were even that person. Who knows? I don't do past life regressions, but I think they're fascinating. You may not now or have ever had a large circle of friends, okay? That's very difficult for empaths. It's very difficult for old souls. You just don't need them. There's multiple reasons for that. It can be very loud. It can be very stressful. Empaths are always taking patience. Empaths can be taken advantage of. And if you prefer your own company, you don't need a large group of friends. And there's a difference between a large group of friends and a large group of acquaintances or peers and colleagues. So really look at that one deeply. They're very hard to impress, okay? So you kind of want to think of Simon Cowell. When he's judging people, he's like, no. But he's seen everything, okay? So there is something about that is like, okay, well, I've seen this all said and done before. And maybe you've never made that connection before, but that's definitely what it could be. It's like, well, I've seen almost every version of this previously, and honestly, what's underneath it? So old souls are really looking for like the bare bones of something, not for all the fluff that goes around it, not very glittery. Do you know what I mean? And the last point that I have here is that you could really like vintage things. So I'm doing the research for this because I found it a really fascinating subject. And this is one point that really resonated with me because I love going to thrift stores and finding vintage things. After my maternal grandmother passed away, she handed me, she passed down to me this handbag that she had that was just, it was from the 50s. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. I will never use it, but every time I look at it, I'm just filled with this, like, so you could really like vintage things as an old soul. Okay, so the new soul. These are the people that are having their first experience on earth, okay? So you want to think of people that are a little bit more boisterous. They have very high energy. It's like the first time they've ever been to a theme park, okay? Remembering that earth is a school for the soul, okay? So they just come charging in. These are people that they seem extremely fearless. They have super high energy, almost to the point of being obnoxious. To an old soul, it's like, oh boy, calm down, cool your jets. I'm glad you're having fun, but they could tend to seek higher education. There's a different journey for new souls as opposed to old souls. So old souls are just here absorbing everything and climbing on their path, but new souls, they're kind of like a kid in a candy store. It's like, I want everything. Okay, so I'm going to attain this and I'm going to attain that. Education, yeah, I'm all about it. So really plowing like headlong into earning a degree. I just saw angel number 1133. They also like to be trendsetters. So these are the people that could be fashion designers. They could be really into fashion. There's a certain family that comes to mind that is very popular. Just all about the clothes, all about the accessories and everything like that. Whereas an old soul could just be looking for something comfortable. So new souls may not stick to tradition. So this one I found was a very interesting one. They could be sort of outside of what the family likes to do because they can't be held back. They just want to do things that are awe-inspiring and like staggeringly dangerous sometimes, or just, I want to be the first person to do this, and if I stay with tradition, that's never going to happen. So you're probably thinking of somebody that is a new soul or an old soul right now. So make sure you remember that for yourself. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, let's just move on. They make friends very easily. So this is the type of person, they just have a way different energy than an old soul. Okay, they're very like into attracting things, very gregarious, very personable, because they like to be like around a lot of people and experiencing everything that the world has to offer. Again, you want to think of that kid in the candy store type of imagery when it comes to stuff like that for a new soul. They are in a hurry to grow up. Like you can think of people that, I can't wait till age of majority where I live right now is 18. So you can move out of your parents' home as soon as you turn 18. So it's the person like, oh, I cannot wait to turn 18 to go and find my own place. Or, when they're a kid, well, I can't wait till I get to be this age so I can do that. And they're just sort of really rushing time forwards, like really galloping into life. Can be a little bit obnoxious if you ask me. And this actually reminds me of my youngest son so strongly. I gave him a theme song when he was a baby. Have you guys ever heard of Iggy Pop? He does this song called Lust for Life, and it's like super bouncy, and and that just reminded of me of him so much. And this is how I relate this information about new souls. They just have this insatiable lust for life. You want to think of daredevils, people that are like, and I think psychotically doing triathlons and stuff like that. If you do triathlons, I don't think you're a psycho. I just think, wow, that's a lot. They may be comfortable in the 3D matrix. Okay, so everything that the 3D matrix has to offer, all the material wealth, all the glitz and glamour, all the superstardom, this is very attractive. It's like holding up something shiny to a cat, ooh, I'm gonna go get that, and this is all very, very cool. I like to see the juxtaposition in people's personalities, and you can kind of judge where they are on their spiritual growth. I think it's extremely fascinating. So they're highly competitive, just gotta win everything. They're absolutely shattered. If they lose something, could be a really sore loser. And the last point I have here is for new souls that they could prefer large cities. So for old souls, large cities, it's like, oh, it's too bright, it's too loud, there's too many people. I think I want to go live in the country, New souls, yeah, let's do everything 24 hours a day and just everything's open, and I love the lights and I love the sound and I love the people, So there's very, very distinct differences. So what I was thinking about right before I did this video, it dawned on me, like, what if you start off as a new soul and then you start to remember where you are? Like, I've been here before, and then you start to wake up, because I was looking at all these different things. I'm like, well, I've been a bit of both, I was super highly competitive. I was super like into going to massive clubs and dancing and talking to everybody and laughing hysterically, and you know what I mean? And then at some point, and it was probably around the time that I had my dark night of the soul, the old soul version of me came in. So when I'm talking about stuff like this and you're trying to pinpoint who you are, it's absolutely possible that you're a bit of both. Okay, so you've gone through maybe like the dark night of the soul can come in after a very traumatic incident, or an injury or something like that. And then there's something that gets shaken loose in you, and then you begin that transformation from new soul, and you could feel like a completely different person and go, oh, what just happened to me? So I really think that that is possible as well. And it's not anything that I researched, because it didn't dawn on me until after I did all of this. So I feel like I'm a combination. I feel like until I was probably in my 40s, I had this new soul energy, but then after my dark night of the soul, after I had a significant concussion, things changed. It's like I was broken loose a little bit. So you could be on one path and then end up on another and be this blended energy. So you guys, when I talk about things, especially like being an empath or a light worker or a starseed, you don't have to put yourself into one compartment. You could be blends of different attributes, and things could happen for you. Transitions like this could also happen as your 12-strand DNA activates, or as your kundalini rises, as your chakras open, and all these memories from your different incarnations start to surface in your DNA. So all things are possible here, you guys. And I found this was really fascinating. And if you guys haven't heard that Iggy Pop song, Lust for Life, I think you should go listen to it now. So I'm going to let you guys go here. And once again, thank you so much for being here on the channel. I'm so blessed by your presence. Sending you love and light, love and light, love and light. Okay, bye.